So there's this post I saw on Facebook that says gender fluid. And then there's like a description on what gender fluidity is.
Oh, yeah. Read that to me because I actually do not know.
It is in Spanish, so I will try my best to translate on the spot.
Okay.
So, sorry guys if it makes no fucking sense. So, gender fluid.
Okay.
The gender fluid is that where... Fuck, this is harder than I thought.
That's a long
You can find diversity in sexual identity. Generally, it manifests as a change between the masculinity and femininity or the neutral aspect of gender. It can also be other genders, and you can identify as more than one gender at the time. People who choose to be identified as gender fluid, they could change identity with frequency, depending on the context. So that's like the kind of post.
So like for the better half of this podcast, I was a guy, and then for the
and then
other
you can
half,
kind of switch. Yeah.
I can switch and be a
or you can
woman.
be both at the same time, or you could be none, or you could be more than just men and female.
Okay, I kind of understand.
But hold on.
Okay.
So that's the post I saw, and then a friend posted that, and added a text to it that said, "I am a pansexual cat. Tomorrow I will be, how do you say avestruz?
An ostrich.
Yeah, tomorrow I will be an ostrich, hetero-flexible. Guys, go to the psychologist." So, like, that's
I would love to like talk to this person and like see what they can like tell me, like, because I want to see how they're thinking this through.
Yeah.
Because it sounds to me like, okay, so if I'm gender fluid, that means that I am now a guy, but like if 5 minutes from now I want to be a girl, I can do that. Mm-hmm. But in that sense, so that means if I'm talking to you as a man right now, I should have like viewpoints of a man and certain opinions or certain aspects of my behavior that should be identical to a man. Yes. And if 5 minutes later from that I switch to a woman, does that mean I'm the same person? Like,
you're the same person. Your identity is just changing.
My identity is changing, right? My body stays the same. My genitals stay the same.
Yes.
It's just my identity that's changing, right? So that means that I'm gonna have a different set of opinions than that.
Not necessarily opinions. Because you're the same person.
Okay, then mannerisms.
Here's the thing.
So I'm just gonna act differently.
No, because that's gender expression, not gender identity. Yeah. Okay. Can I say my opinion on this? Because I've thought about this for a long while. I've been planning on making a video about this in Spanish for a long while. I actually have a book, which I highly recommend to any of you guys watching who is interested in this topic but doesn't necessarily understand it or is just like way too overwhelmed by it because it's a mess. And like the information you find in Tumblr or like Twitter, it's like so biased towards whatever political opinions they may have. So like it's kind of hard to understand.
I mean, that's the thing. Why is it political, bro?
That's
like,
the thing.
It's this scientific?
Yes, it's supposed to be
scientific.
scientific.
Why are you bringing politics
Which
into
is
this?
why I recommend this book I'm about to recommend. It's called Why Gender Matters. It's so good. I can insert a picture here because I'm editing this anyways. But basically what it says is there's only two genders. Male and female. Okay. Biologically, you cannot argue with that.
And who's saying this? The author?
Yeah.
Like, is she?
There's a bunch of research to that. I'm just saying what I remember because. So basically, there are two genders. There are two genders.
Two genders.
Yes. However, there's a dysphoria called gender dysphoria, which means
that's a medical condition, right?
Yes, it's a dysphoria, which means that you were born with a female brain in a male body, because male and females have fuck guys, I'm sorry for all of you guys listening. Give us a second. There we go. We're back. Camera's back. Okay, so basically the differences between a male brain and a female brain are very like vast. There's a lot of differences. And the book kind of explains it in a
like chemically, or
like biologically.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of differences.
So like there's more estrogen in that of a woman's, there's more testosterone in that of a guy.
Yes, and it kind of like there's a tendency towards how women approach problems and how men approach problems, and it has nothing to do with personality, because that takes another aspect.
That comes from evolution, right?
Yes. Okay. It comes from like a biological aspect. Like this is not my opinion. This is what I read on a biology book. Okay.
So it's like a biological evolution kind of point of view.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, what this book says is there's a female brain and a male brain. However, there are scenarios where gender dysphoria is it
occurs.
It occurs, yeah. Which means that your body did not make a mistake. It's just that your brain was different. Like you were, you had a female body in a male brain. I mean,
Yeah, it works like it works either way.
Yeah. So basically, there's no way to fix your brain because it's a dysphoria. So what they tend to do is they fix their bodies, and this is transgender.
Wait. But what's a dysphoria? What's that mean?
Oh, fuck. Should I Google it?
I mean, yeah, because I honestly don't know. Like,
I don't want to. Like, I don't want to.
It's a dysphoria. It's a dysphoria. Like, okay, it kind of makes sense when you put it in context.
Yeah, but you want to here's...
What's exactly a dysphoria?
It says, a state of unease, generalized dissatisfaction with life.
Oh, shit.
So it's gender dysphoria.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, I was gonna say like a meaning that I kind of think I know, but then I'd rather just get the real meaning. Okay. So basically, when you have that disassociation with body and brain, that's when it's called... that's like where transgenders come from. But because there's no way to fix your brain, which is what is technically wrong, what they do is they fix their bodies. So they go
fit their brain.
Yes, okay. So they transition. So if your brain is male, then you transition your body from biologically being a woman to biologically become a male. Okay. If it makes sense. So basically, like, it's not necessarily a cure. Like, there's no cure for gender dysphoria. But there's a way to cope with it. And the way... Like, there's a bunch of videos about transgenders that tell their story, and they're so good. Like, I'll link some below. It's so good.
So there's no cure, but there's treatment.
I mean, the treatment is just transitioning. It's just
it's a treatment.
It's a treatment, yeah. And some insurances cover it, which is pretty good. So that's, like, good. So, however, when it comes to gender fluidity, that I believe... Now, this is where my beliefs come in. This is not scientific. This is my beliefs. I believe that that's just a snowflake excuse to be part of an LGBTQ movement and just gain attraction from a real issue. I believe that transgender people go through so much shit to be able to, like, be a functioning person in society that gender fluid people, they just come in and try to be like, oh, I don't know who I am, whether I'm male or a female, but I'm not transitioning because I usually shift from one to another. So I'm like just staying here. Like, you're just fucking an attention whore who's trying to like fit into this crazy movement, because apparently everyone's a fucking liberal now and everyone's trying to like be politically correct when it comes to this.
Or at least we have a very vocal progressive group.
Yes.
Because that's where I was going. Like, what's the amount of people? How many people are actually gender fluid? Like, is it like a very large group, or is it a very vocal minority that we shouldn't really be?
I feel like it's a very vocal minority, and I feel like it's not, you can't diagnose like. Not that I have any research.
How do you medically diagnose it? I don't know, because I'm not a fucking doctor.
You can actually medically diagnose someone who has gender dysphoria.
I understand that one, yeah, because it's chemical imbalances in your brain that make your tendencies to act in a different way that your body looks. Yeah, that I kind of understand.
It's not necessarily with tendencies; it's more about identity. But it's a medical thing. Your tendencies. Like you can actually go to a doctor and be like, bro, I have this thing, and they'll be like, oh, that's gender dysphoria. Like, that's a thing.
Isn't that the same thing with pedophilia, though?
You went to, like, a very dark place here.
Because, no, it's not quite dark, because, I mean, Okay, all of my knowledge of medical terms and medical procedures comes from like doctor shows and residency shows.
Yeah,
and
guys,
like
by the way, we're just two piece of shit people who live in the border and talk about topics who are not. We're not qualified to talk about this.
I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I really would like to know.
Yeah.
So if we could, we should like get somebody.
We should probably like.
I want to know this, bro.
And then,
I really would like to learn about this because I mean I'm really not well informed and I don't feel like I can go into Twitter or Facebook and like get genuine information.
Yeah.
And I'm too fucking dumb to like actually look into scientific papers and see actual information.
We should get actual like
we should get people like the ones that wrote that post in here and medical doctors. I actually want to like listen to a doctor,
to someone who's qualified to talk about
someone that's accredited,
because we're just like two dumb fucks.
But I want to learn though. I'm like dumb as fuck, but I want to know what the fuck is going on. And so I was saying that isn't it the same as pedophilia because
this is like spicy terrain. So like,
I mean, no. I mean, it could be, but what I'm saying is that these people that are pedophiles, it's fucked up. Like that, you are attracted to like to these vulnerable kids. Yeah, and it's just like a sexual urge that you have. That's fucked up. But there's a certain amount of pedophiles that have those urges, but they recognize that they have those urges and they do something about it. And I actually saw like an episode of a TV show.
We should probably react to.
It's called The Good Doctor. It's a great fucking show.
I've heard about it.
Fuck, it's good. Anyway, in that show, there's this patient that is a pedophile, and he goes to the medics and asks for like help because he doesn't want to have those urges, and so that's something that he really cannot resist. Yeah. So he asks them to castrate him. Right? He's like, yo, y'all gotta castrate me before I do some fucked up shit. And so it's actually it's like a moral dilemma. It's a moral dilemma. It's a very polarized decision. It's a team of surgeons, and half of them say yes, let's castrate him, and the other half are like, no, that's because it's not ethically correct, but it's morally correct. I would say it would be morally correct, but I mean,
it's not ethically correct because you're.
But like, how do you justify a castration?
I guess this is where free will comes in.
If
it's your decision, then you should be able to do with your body whatever the fuck you want. Which is what a bunch of people argue about. Just putting it out there, sprinkling it on top. But yeah, when it comes to pedophilia, I feel like there should be a lot of research towards it.
It should not be encouraged.
It should not be encouraged. Never. But it should be researched. Yes. Like, I feel like it's something that, like, a lot of people have asked about my opinion on pedophilia, like, in my videos. Because I make a lot of controversial videos when it comes to, like, check out my channel, whatever. But basically, like, that's a topic I have never really, attempted to make a video on, just because there's not enough information towards what causes that like urge. Like I feel like it's definitely way like it's not viewed as a normal or good thing, which is good. So people immediately just block that idea from their brains, but it's so interesting to see like what actually causes it.
Well, wasn't that the case with gay people like a long ass time ago?
That's what I was about to say, but the thing is, like with gay people, it's two consensual adults who decide to fuck. Like
I understand that.
But when it comes to that, like you're treating a vulnerable group of
a defenseless human being, yeah. But what I'm saying is that back in the day, back when being gay was punishable by death, which is still it is today in certain places, yeah. But back in the day when it was universal that if you were gay, you were killed. When that was like the rule, there wasn't like a lot of things going into it. It was
just like a norm.
You wouldn't ask a gay guy like, hey, what's going on in your head? Like, you wouldn't study the chemical imbalances, if there is any, in their brains. You wouldn't study the tendencies that they had, how they were raised, like their environment. You wouldn't do any of that.
Here's a question.
That's the thing, and I'm not in any way whatsoever in support of pedophilia at all. But since the moment gay people were started to being accepted into society, we started to understand them more.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that we should accept pedophilia into our society, but
we should try
to study it.
Exactly. Yes. I feel like...
Well, also, there are trends and patterns. Like, if you were, for example, if you were molested as a child, you tend to, when you grow up, become a child molester.
I mean, not necessarily. It's more like, if you're a child molester, you were most likely molested as a child.
Exactly.
Not the other way around.
Well, isn't it the same thing?
No.
How are they mutually exclusive, though?
Well, sometimes saying that, like, I don't know how to explain it. I watched a video on statistics about this. I'll link it below because I'm apparently linking a bunch of shit now.
Bro, we're sourcing this shit up. Yes.
Sometimes A plus B equals C, but B times plus A doesn't equal... I don't know how to explain it.
The fuck?
Basically, like, if
that makes no sense.
Yeah, like, how can I put an example? Like, okay, not an example. I'll just explain it further. Like, if you were molested as a child, that doesn't mean that when you grow up you will molest child.
No, it doesn't mean
that. That doesn't mean that. However,
but it's probable.
No, like what I'm trying to say is that every a huge percentage of people who molest child, they were molested as a child. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that every child that is molested will eventually molest child, because then you would have like this spiderweb effect where it'll just be bigger and bigger.
I heard people talk about this. And
wait, hold on. Before we shift into that, I just want to finish something with like the comparison with gay people.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of it's a touchy subject. Like we don't want to it's a touchy subject. Yeah, like we don't want to I guess offend anyone who's gay out there thinking that we're kind of like pretending they're pedophiles or anything like that.
Nah, bro, I'm not gay, so I don't know what's going on in your head, so I'm like trying to figure the fuck out what's going on.
Yeah,
there.
And like it's like
I want to know.
Pedophilia, it's like people say it's a sexual orientation. Like what I've heard from pedophiles out there, I mean, it's like they say
technically a sexual orientation.
I don't know. That's the thing.
Because you're oriented to be sexually attractive to children. That's fucked up.
But that's
horrible.
That's the thing. That's not sexual orientation. Because sexual orientations means what type of sex you like, whether it's a female or a man. Okay. This is specifically kids. Like it's like saying, like I specifically like people who have like thick eyebrows, so and I just fuck people with thick eyebrows.
So
like
it's a sexual preference rather than
I would say
orientation.
So. Yeah, because it's like saying it's a sexual orientation. It kind of like devaluates gay people and whoever's on the LGBT like family. Like saying that pedophilia it's a sexual orientation. It's like kind of putting these two groups in the same level, which I think it's not. Yeah, not that's why they're not trying. Deserving, but because that's an issue that should be looked into. Like, when transgenderism was, like, popping up, they were like, oh, yeah, they're all fucking gay. And we then realized it's, like, a gender dysphoria. But when it comes to pedophilia, I would really like to know, like...
It's difficult, man.
It's definitely not a sexual orientation. That's something I want to say. Like, I don't want to put someone who's gay, consensual, and wants to fuck the same... Like, a person with the same sex as them to, like, someone who likes to molest kids. Like, it's definitely not in the same range. We may not understand that the way that in the past gay people were not understood, but it's not supposed to be in the same level. Like, that's just something I want to say. Anyways, move to your point. I'm sorry, I needed to put that out there.
I don't even know what the fuck I was gonna say. Like, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Yeah, we're still on the
topic.
We're still talking about pedophiles. Yeah. But what I heard is that there's a tendency for what I mentioned. Like, there's a tendency for if you were molested as a kid.
Oh yeah.
You can molest, or there's some people that have molested other kids, or that have molested when they grew up. Right. The reason why I have no fucking idea, but I've heard one of the reasons why it could be is that when they were molested as a child, in their subconscious, they know, obviously, while it's happening, that it's fucked up. And it's like, well, no, this shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, but they kind of get used to it in their subconscious.
I mean, in their subconscious, it's like, okay, so this is happening at a very developmental... I'm sorry, I can't speak. It's happening in a very developmental period of their life.
Yeah.
So while it's happening, their subconscious is absorbing the information and it's getting accustomed to that kind of environment and that kind of treatment. And so when they grow up, they tend to seek similar environments in which they can employ the same activities, and it wouldn't be as discouraged, and it wouldn't be as discouraged, or it wouldn't be seen at all.
Yeah,
and so that's
that.
No, and that's where I'm going. Okay. I think we're going to the same place, and where that leads them to occasionally is to churches and the Catholic Church, and that's why you see a lot of like priests being pedophiles or being alleged, because
it creates this
pedophiles.
Spider web
because
effect.
Because you have the altar boy with a very close relationship with the priest, and it's a very similar situation to what happened to them in their developmental years.
Yeah.
And so the pattern just repeats.
The thing is, like, when you're like since you're born to,
I'm not saying that's what happens though. That's something that could happen, and that's like something that my brain connects, that like, oh, maybe this happens because of this, you know?
Yeah, basically, like the first 7 years of your life, they're so crucial to like subconscious development. Like my dad passed away when I was 7, and there are things that I do in my day-to-day life that my mom just looks at me and she's like, holy shit, why did you like make that face or say that word or like acted this way? Because those are things that my dad used to do, and they're so niche. Like they're so absorbing. Yeah, they're so odd, and they're things I don't really remember. But then like I meet with my cousins or with my aunts and uncles, and they're always like, "You are so much like your father," and not like in a physical way. I don't really look much like him, but like the way I express or tend to like talk about certain topics or how I express myself. Like there's so many things that I do like my dad. And it's something I never really learned because I don't have much memories of him like being around. But definitely those 7 years that he was around, my subconscious like literally absorbed a lot of that information. So I can definitely see how a kid that was molested can tend to repeat those patterns, because it generally happens, like not necessarily when it comes to trauma or being molested, but in any scenario, whatever you feed like a 1-year-old to like a 7-year-old kid, they are most likely to repeat those patterns and to like project them in the future. And like I was studying psychology for a bit, and then I dropped out of university, because I tend to do that. I drop out of many schools.
You drop out of everything.
Everything, yeah. But yeah, when I was studying this, like there was a topic that we were debating about, which is like, are conducts learned or genetically passed? Passed on, inherited. Sorry, we can speak. I'm drunk.
So so is behavior inherited or
learned?
Conditioned or learned.
And we kind of came to the conclusion that literally it's literally like both. However, those 7 years, like those first 7 years are crucial to someone's development. So
children are special, man. We gotta protect them.
Yes, that's what I want to say.
We gotta fucking protect them, man.
Guys, like I know you may trust whatever your church. I'm not trying to like shame on anyone, but if you have little ones, just fucking protect them. Don't assume like there's no people who have like twisted minds or have like wrong scenarios in their brains, that like wrongdoing behaviors. Like
just be aware,
fucking
man.
Protect them.
Be aware.
At least their 7 first years of life. When they turn 8, like fucking sell them to a prostitute. Like
holy shit.
Never fucking no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like we should probably be like way more fucking careful. And I'm not trying to say like overprotecting them.
Careful of what you teach them, man.
Yes, careful with what you say. Like there are so many things that you are like, oh yeah, they're not gonna fucking like know what I'm talking about because they're kids. Turns out it's like they're actually grasping onto every information you're saying, even though they're not even aware at the time. So yeah, like having a kid, it's tough.
I mean, it's very difficult to unlearn things that you learned as a child, man.
I said that in a video and it was so good. Like my favorite.
But it's true. It's true, man.
Yeah.
If you learn that a certain thing happens or is because of a certain the X, Y, or C when you're a child, when you're developing. Once you turn into a mature age, it's difficult to unlearn or think that, or convince yourself that those behaviors or that information that you learned previously is actually wrong.
Yeah.
And I mean, they could be right or they could be wrong, but that's what a lot of these gender fluid, whatever you were saying, that Facebook post was saying.
Yeah.
That's a lot of their arguments. It's like, in the past, it's been thought of this as this certain thing, certain thing that should be shunned and you shouldn't actually do. But now as we're progressing as a society, we should be inclined to accept that more. And so that becomes a gray area. It's like, okay, should I listen to them? Should I listen to them? I mean, in my opinion, you shouldn't listen to either. You should listen to actually both and create your opinion, your own opinion of what you think is right or wrong. But then you become like the fucking Nazis. That some of them did that. Mm-hmm. Some of them said, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to them," and then a little bit of them. And so you grasp a little bit of more ideas from one side than the other, and then you start fucking killing Jews. And then all of a sudden you're in the wrong side of history, and that's where a lot of people are afraid of being placed in today. It's like, hey, if you're not accepting or advancing my movement, then you're in the wrong place in history. And a lot of people are afraid of that. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know what, if I'm not advancing the LGBTQ community, if I'm not advancing the Black Lives Matter, which is a great movement, I believe, the Black Lives Matter, the LGBTQ movement, voting against Trump, voting for Joe Biden, whoever you vote for, if you do certain action, you're gonna be in the wrong place of history immediately.
And I feel like
it's fucked up, man. Nobody wants to be there.
When it comes to
scary,
this,
man.
It's like, I feel like we should probably care a lot less. Like, I'm sorry, but I think I was talking about this to you a few days ago, or probably like a week or two ago, but I feel like everyone in this era has like this social I don't want to say like stupid words when it comes to this, but I feel like everyone is so pressured to have an opinion and to have the right opinion, when in reality we're just fucking humans and we're gonna live a very short period of time compared to the history of like fucking
the world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we care way too fucking much about whether we're right or wrong, and we care way too fucking much if someone has a different opinion than us. Well,
that's the thing. When somebody has a different opinion than yours, but that person is in a position to be able to change the structure of your society and your community, and that's not doesn't matter if it affects you. If it affects your children or your descendants, basically, then you start to think, okay, the people that are coming, they don't really have a say in this, but maybe I do. So I'm gonna try to do this. This is what people like MLK did. This is thinks that people like Malcolm X did.
Yes, but there are certain people who doesn't have that fighting gene in them. Like, there are people who just literally want to go with the flow and live the most peaceful life. And something that really, really fucking annoys me, I'm sorry, just bit coronavirus. Yeah, no, something that really fucking annoys me is that there are people who say, like, if you don't have an opinion on Black Lives Matter, then you're a fucking racist. Or if you, I don't know, if you don't march on June, then you're a fucking, like, homophobe or shit like that. It's like, dude, sometimes not having an opinion and not caring about problems doesn't make you part of a problem. It just makes you a fucking human who wants to just survive and go with the flow. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I know there's a lot of information on Twitter and Instagram about people who are like, speak up and you have to be part of the change. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to be part of the change. You can literally just live your life and let the social justice, like, warriors, whatever, like, do their job. And, like, if the world is gonna change, let them be the fighters. Let them be, like, you don't have to be part of the movement to experience the change. Like, and sometimes, yeah, it may be lazy. It may be fucking, like, apathetic. Like, it may sound like
words,
that.
yeah.
But, like, I don't really give a shit. Like, there's so many topics that we...
Specifically for this Black Lives Matter movement, I kind of understand why you wouldn't, like, give a fuck.
Yeah, because I'm a Mexican.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I kind of care because
you study in Riverside and you...
Well, not because of that. Not even because of that. It's because I know people. I know Black people. I know Black kids. I know families that are actually very affected by the things that have been previously established and that have been very wrong, and that they are trying to change that so that their lives can improve. And these are people I, like, really care about, so I really want them to succeed and to improve their quality of life. So for them, I say, yes, go for it. Change what you feel is wrong in the world. Like, go ahead, do that. And if I can do anything to help you specifically, I'll do that. I'll do whatever moves me to actually help you. But that's the key word. Move me.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be moved. It's not your job to move me or anything. It's something that comes from within each individual. If it comes from me, from inside, to say, you know what, this shit is fucked up, we gotta do something about it, then I'm gonna do that.
That's a thing.
If it doesn't, it doesn't.
It's supposed to be something that moves you. It's supposed to, like, if something is wrong and you see that that's wrong and you feel like you need to make a change and tell people about it, like, if that fucking lights a spark inside of you, that's dope. Like, I've done so many things when it comes to speaking up about topics I'm not comfortable about, and pretty much the whole fucking country hates me because of this, because I speak up on things that I'm not, like...
because you share your opinion.
But, like, I speak up on things that I don't necessarily, like, feel they're right with the world. And I really encourage that. Like, if you have something you want to express and you want to, like, if there's a spark inside of you and you want to share that, that's fucking amazing. And if you have the ability to share that spark and, like your friends that motivates you to, like, actually become part of something, that's amazing. But basically what I'm trying to say with, like, not giving a shit, it's people who actually don't give a shit, but they feel forced to post a fucking black picture on Instagram so that they're politically correct, so that they don't, like, they're not judged because of not doing it. Like, there's so many things that are wrong with pretending to be part of something that you don't fucking understand. And that's the thing. Like, I'm tired of seeing people who are just trying to be politically correct or accepted in society, or, like, not be fucking, like, shit on Twitter or Instagram because of not being part of a movement. Like, you should not be forced to be part of a movement. If it fucking moves you, then that's dope. That's amazing. And speak up. And, like, I applaud everyone who speaks up for whatever they feel like it. But if you're just doing it, or if you're forcing people to pretend they're part of something when they actually don't even understand what it is about, like, that doesn't help anyone.
And if you don't understand what the thing is about, but you want to learn more,
there's so many resources.
No, yeah, and you can ask people.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can do that, but I kind of understand the place where these people are coming from. It's a place of validation. It's a place of saying, hey, I'm with you guys.
But I'm actually not.
And no. I mean, you're not technically saying that. You're just, hey, I'm with you guys. Give me likes. Give me views on my story.
Yeah.
Give me likes on my... I mean, you can, like, roll your eyes and everything, but everyone that has Instagram right now, or at least that is from my age group and below, the reason why we post pictures on Instagram or upload a story on Instagram or any social media platform is because, honestly, we're seeking validation. We're seeking outside validation, and we're getting that dopamine boost every time we see that like, every time we see that comment, every time we see that many views in my story. When you see, like, you exceed numbers, it's like, oh, I reached a milestone. Oh wow. You get, like, these dopamine boosts in your brain, and I kind of understand that. Like, okay, and with you, I understand, like, with you kind of got used to that a little bit.
No. I'm probably more guilty about that than you are.
If you didn't get used to that, then you're even more starving for that. Mm-hmm. Now that you get like so much traffic of that kind of validation in your everyday life.
Yeah.
Imagine how it is for us that we don't really have those numbers, and it's like, fuck. I want to get more
about
numbers.
That, like,
fuck.
Jesus, I'm sorry, guys. This podcast is kind of
long.
Okay, we're back with the camera. About that, I do get it. Like, I am probably the most attention whore. Like, there is the most attention whore. That's a sentence.
You're an attention whore.
Yeah, I'm a fucking attention whore. Like, I am very, very fucking aware of that. Like, however, I actually am. Like, I have this pride about it. Like,
yeah, of course.
I believe that everything that I have received attention for, it has come from myself. Like, out of
uniqueness.
Out of myself. Like, I have never tried to hop on a bandwagon for fucking attention. And if I have, guys, let me know. Like, send it to me or something so that I can make a fucking response about that.
Hey, bitch, you're wrong about this.
Yeah, like,
what the fuck?
I believe that everything that has made me, like, attract a lot of attention has been very, like, something that has come up because of me. An opinion I expressed that no one else said, that came from my heart, and that no one else was, like, expressing, and I felt like I needed to do that. Like, I am very disgusted by people who pretend to be something they're not for attention. Like, the whole uniqueness about, like, what I find beautiful about social media, which is not much, but what I feel is beautiful about social media is that we have the platform to be, like, to share who we actually are without the whole stereotypical bullshit of Hollywood or what TV was about back in the day. Like, if you dig down what, like, pioneer YouTubers and, like, I don't know, Facebook stars or Twitch stars, whatever, like, the pioneers were actually people who were expressing their own, like, niche opinions about shit. And then people realized that there was more to just one opinion that was publicly expressed.
But that's not what it is now.
It's not, but that's what disturbs me. Like, I believe that, like, that's why I feel so disgusted by it. Like, I do get the sense of validation, but you can find that by being yourself and by not hopping on random bandwagons that you don't really care about. Like, that's my whole problem with it. Like, uniqueness is way more interesting and important when it comes to social media than just pretending to be another Insta model with big tits and blonde hair.
Well, I would say it's more important. I wouldn't say it attracts more attention. Because
I would actually say so, yeah. It does attract more attention.
I disagree with that. Because if you see the accounts that have the biggest following, what is it? It's big booty bitches. That's what it is.
It's definitely...
on Instagram, at least. Yeah. It's not people expressing their opinions that are actually unique to themselves and important.
But
it's
what
not
makes
really
change?
Huh?
What brings change? Like, if you follow someone with big tits and big ass and blonde hair, like, if she expresses her opinion on some sort of, like, whatever, no one gives a shit. They just want to see her tits.
Well, if you're a guy, and I know a lot of guys do this, you're going to agree with them because you want to fuck them.
No, you're not going to agree with it because you don't even have...
You're going to agree with them because you want to fuck them.
But that doesn't create any change. Like, what I'm saying is the true power
but people don't want
social
change.
Media.
People want to be comfortable.
Yeah, people but the true power of it... Like, I'm sorry. I'm just so passionate about this because it's, like, my fucking thing. But the true power of social media, it's becoming this persona online that is unique. Like... There's no exact replica of whoever the fuck you are. And if you put that person in a platform and express whatever the fuck is in your brain, it's so fucking interesting because it, like, everything you see is that same Insta bitch model. And then you come over and there's like this unique, different person, and that's so interesting, and that can create so much change. Like, just think about everyone who inspires you on social media. Like, are they the typical Insta model? Whoever inspires you. Like, I guess I'm inspired by Katie Corio, Gary Vee, and...
Well, yeah, but they're not... Their primary source of their primary methods of getting their message out there is not social media. The reason why they're doing their thing is not because of social media, which is a big contrast to what these big booty bitches are doing.
That's the thing.
They're doing what they do because they want to get likes and views on Instagram so they can get money. And what these other people are doing, they're producing social change and they're transmitting it through social media so that it reaches a bigger platform.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. I think we're talking about the same thing.
Okay, the thing
is
that...
we just have like two pathways towards
Here's the thing. The difference between big booty bitches and inspirational ass people is that they use the same tool for a different thing.
Now, if you, like, I'm not trying to shit on big booty bitches.
I am.
I fucking love you.
I am.
Like, I admire you, booty. But what
I don't
I'm trying
admire
to say
you. I'm just trying to
that
fuck you. Like, that's it.
I'm trying both. Anyways,
Whoa.
like, no, what I'm trying to say is
Mars?
that
bisexual?
If you're a big booty bitch, stick to that. No one gives a shit about your political opinions. We just want to see your ass and tits. Like, if you are a big booty bitch and you're doing that because of numbers and because of dopamine and because of money, dude, stick to that. Like, don't pretend to be a fucking social justice bitch. Like, that's not your, like,
It's not your thing, man.
It's not your thing, yeah. Like, for example, Tana Mojo. She posted a picture with, like, smoking a blunt and being all fucking sexy or whatever when the whole Black Lives Matter movement was, like, on like, starting. Like, it was a mess. And then she posted this fucking picture. And everyone on their comments were like, oh, I'm so, like, disappointed on you because you didn't post anything about this and you're posting random bullshit. And I'm like, Tana Mojo is ass and titties and a blonde fucking bitch.
Well, didn't she also say the N-word in one of her videos once? Exactly. And then she apologized for it. So shouldn't that... Okay, yeah, I guess.
Whatever. So then, because she started getting a bunch of backlash of that, then she posted a bunch of Black Lives Matter bullshit. Yeah. And I'm like, dude... Like, just stick to ass and titties. Just stick to that.
Yeah, I don't like her.
I don't like her.
I don't like her in the sense that, nah, fuck it. I changed my opinion like immediately. I love her. Fuck it.
Why?
Because I'm trying to fuck. That's why.
Yeah, I feel like, I'm sorry guys, I think the quality on this was shit because we were both like,
oh shit, bro, I was here. I was here, man. I did not look at the camera once.
That's good. God.
Anyway, this was a very packed podcast, I feel like. That's good.
And silly me decided to edit random bullshit on the podcast. So.
Honestly, just like...
Oh, fuck.
What?
Guys, this will start reporting in like 3 seconds because it has like 3% battery. So I'm sorry, guys, if this podcast was like very packed and... Should we just say bye?
Yeah. No, it was bad. It wasn't bad. Fuck. You subscribe to bad content, so you're getting bad content.
This was actually pretty dope. It started...
It was just us screaming at each other for like the better half of the podcast. And
the first half was me just being drunk as fuck.
The first half was just you being an asshole.
The
second half was both of us being an asshole to each other.
Anyways, if you like this type of content and if you would like a little bit more, then subscribe. We're trying to reach 100 subs so that we can actually change our URL of the channel. So that'll be pretty dope if you guys subbed. Leave some comments below on subjects you would like us to talk about, and then we can further plan a podcast that is not... like this one.
And tell us what you think about the things that we discussed. I want to know what everyone thinks.
Pedophilia, trans.
Just like rewind the video and then like if you find an opposing opinion, just like send it to me. I want to see that.
I really want to. Like this is not about like...
I don't want to create an echo chamber. I want to like...
No, I actually want to read comments from you guys on the next episode so that we can discuss about this and like make... a better conversation.
Watch us not do any of that though. Fuck it.
I know. Yeah, we might not.
I thank you guys. Have a good one.
Have an amazing one.
See ya.
Bye. ¿Me puedes abrir otra?